I mean, there were question marks about Higgins after the public revelations as to, well, where do I fit now? There's an election coming up. Do I go to Western Australia? Don't I go to Western Australia? I don't know what to do. And so Fiona Brown sent an SMS to Brittany Higgins, April 7, 2019. Hi, Brittany. I hope you had a good weekend. As we discussed the other day, you can let me know if something doesn't work for you, e.g. a time to go to WA, etc. If something doesn't work for you, make sure you let me know. I'm only a call away. Higgins wrote back to Fiona Brown, who's been vilified along with this lady you're listening here tonight, and Linda Reynolds. Higgins wrote back, hi, Fiona, absolutely. Thank you for the message. Yes, I figured as much and I really appreciate it. So, Michaelia, why would the Commonwealth decide to pay a reported 7-figure settlement to Miss Higgins for damages sustained during her employment in Parliament House after a brief mediation when you've got that evidence in front of you?
Well, just in relation to your first comments, this is what happens, Alan, when a Labor opposition decides to weaponise an allegation of rape and decides to weaponise the person who made the allegation. At all times, the moment the Labor Party had knowledge of this, this should have been dealt with properly by the criminal justice system. That is the appropriate place for allegations of this nature to be dealt with. But what we have seen, and in particular the evidence coming out over the last couple of days, was the Labor Party chose to weaponise an allegation of rape.
Absolutely.
And they do need to answer questions on that.
Definitely.
In relation to the settlement, the Attorney-General of Australia, I think he does have questions to answer about the process leading up to the settlement. It does appear as if senior members of the former Labor opposition did actually conspire with others in relation to this. And I do think that I have said, in the first instance, what should the Prime Minister do? And what should the Attorney-General do? They should front the Australian people, live up to their standards of openness, of transparency and accountability, and just provide a full account of what occurred. But again, as we saw today in both the House of Representatives, but from my perspective in the Australian Senate, hypocrisy is thy name. What we do in opposition is one thing, but what we do when we get elected to government is another.
Absolutely. See, just coming back to Gallagher, there are text messages between Miss Higgins and her partner Shiraz in which she says, Katie is going to come to me with some questions you need to prepare for. She's really invested now. Ha, ha, ha. So, I mean, there are people here who are not being truthful. Peter Dutton is right when he says this is about the weaponisation, and Michaelia's made of rape allegations and potentially misleading statements by Albanese's ministers. Michaelia, if this isn't corruption, what is?
Well, I have to say, just going back to that particular text message you referred to, we put that to Katie Gallagher in the Australian Senate today. She refused to provide any answer. But again, I go back to 2021, February the 22nd, when questions were being asked of Linda Reynolds. And what did Senator Wong say? Direct relevance, she raises a point of order. This minister is accountable to this chamber for her conduct. I made a similar point of order today in the Australian Senate, but Senator Wong still refused to answer the question. Alan, in relation to the question you've just asked, that is why in the first instance, the Prime Minister and the Attorney-General and Senator Gallagher just front the Australian people and answer the questions that not only the opposition is asking, the media outlets are asking, but also the people of Australia are asking. You set your own standard. You said you would usher in a new era of transparency and accountability. And the Prime Minister, he is failing in every single regard. And the people of Australia should be asking very serious questions. Can we trust this government?